Hello again, YouTube. It is me, East, wearing my Overexplained from the Future hoodie. I once again achieved a 62 fear clear on the Underworld, this time with the aspect of Nergal. This is, for my money, one of the more difficult ones, but I'm really looking forward to doing this Overexplained because there's a lot of very interesting tech that goes into playing Nergal. I actually did an early access Overexplained, I think, as well. So I'll probably reiterate a lot of those points and also talk about how some things have changed for 1.0. As usual, you can see previous me below react to things. I've noticed in prior Overexplained videos, I have sort of tried to talk over myself a little bit. So I'm going to try and mostly just pause the video when I'm talking and see if that makes for a better viewing experience. If you watch this and you agree, please leave a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos like this. I've got a bit of a backlog right now. New videos should be coming out every Wednesday and every, I believe it's either Friday or Saturday. So look forward to that. And as always, catch me on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. With that, let's get into the video. It's so friggin' hard for Nergal, man.
This is fate. Time.
So with the aspect of Nergal, nothing too much different than early access. We're looking for a good percentage damage boon on our attack, a decent gain. Glamour gain is usually my favorite on Nergal, and the Psychic Whirlwind hammer, and a few different Hades boons that we'd like to start with.
To retrace my steps.
Just need deep descent there. So right off the bat, you can see I'm a little bit deflated looking at this hammer. Prior to 1.0 release, it was pretty much thought to be maybe not impossible, but very, very difficult to get through Rivals Hecate and Rivals Sirens without the Psychic Whirlwind hammer that basically leaves you actionable while you're using your Omega attack on Nergal. It's sort of the best way to play the weapon. I think I'm taking Furious Whirlwind this run. This is just coming off of a Dashing Heave run in which I've lost at Kronos. It did very disappointing finish. So I believe I take Furious Whirlwind here, and I'm pretty happy to do so. And
Greater might.
I think I'm only going to play for spin now after that run. Like, that's the thing I learned, is I have to just keep playing for spin. All looks good so far. You can see when using Nergal, pretty much always dash attacking into the spin. Nergal's Omega attack spin move clears such a wide area and deals damage in like perfect instances to deal with both wards and also high health bars. And that's pretty much standard gameplay for Nergal and Erebus. You will see me take some damage. I believe the best Hades boon that you can get on this weapon is actually Unseen Ire, which is the one that I have. Basically, you have to get up close and unfortunately take some damage with Nergal, and it balances that out by being able to heal off the damage. The nice thing about Unseen Ire is that it makes you temporarily invulnerable if you take damage. So with that in mind, I'll be able to string together some Omega attacks even though I'll be vulnerable while spinning. So canceling that out with Unseen Ire is very effective.
As expected.
Yeah, just group them all together like that. And you can see all those little +1s coming out, healing me up to full with the Berserk. Because I started with the hammer, I have to take my first onion. About last run. I don't... Am I supposed to kill the... Maybe I'm supposed to kill the Tempestuses? I don't know. I'm not gonna focus on it. As you can see, armored enemies are very difficult for Nurgle because you're not really actionable while you're spinning. So I have to be very careful to watch for example, that big guy. Wait for his attack animation, both of his attack animations to go through, and then charge the spin and put it behind him. One of the nice things about being at Fate's Whim is you get a little bit more um, grasp to work with your Arcana. And in the case of Nurgle, this means I'm actually able to run the Eternity Arcana. You might have noticed that while I've been charging up these spins, the enemies have been getting slowed down. That's the Eternity Arcana, which is very rarely seen, and it was almost never seen in 62 fear or higher runs prior to 1.0. But because we're not running the Enchantress Arcana and we're not running the Champions Arcana, we have about 7 free grasp with which we can add or remove various things. And in the case of the most runs, that will mean Artificer, and then one of the 1-cost Arcana. And in this case, the additional one as well will be the 3-cost Eternity. Chronos is tough. Chronos sure is tough. You can see at this point, I've been doing Nurgle runs in early access and 1.0 for quite a while. I believe this is the end of my 5th hour of attempts on stream, and or my 3rd hour because I didn't over-explain to start on stream, just like this one. And I have a lot of comfort with the weapon now. Like, that was a very difficult room. There's low visibility, lots of projectiles, lots of weird stuff going on, but I just kind of very confidently navigated it. There is some like inbuilt familiarity that you get with each weapon aspect as you grind out runs, and it's one of the things that makes me optimistic that almost any of these weapon aspects can be cleared at 62.
My favorite.
There's a really strong argument to be made here to take Born Gain instead of Sworn Strike. Engagement Ring is also a good option for what it's worth, but Sworn Strike is an ideal attack boon to have on Nergal, and Born Gain, while would solve my mana issues for the entirety of the run. Now that more and more of the gains have been sort of buffed, and a lot of them start out level 4 instead of level 1, so they're much more powerful as mana gains. Things like Glamour Gain at at level 4, Lucid Gain at level 4, Flood Gain at level 4, even things like Tranquil and Iotic Gain at level 4 are sufficient to cover the mana needs of Nergal. It's not a high mana intensity weapon. You're not usually getting a lot of the things that make your Omegas cost more. Your Omega attack deals enough by itself. You just need a decent attack boon, a decent gain boon, and Psychic Whirlwind. Those are sort of the key components. And obviously I failed to get Psychic Whirlwind, so the run is a little bit behind, so I'm pretty happy to see and take Sworn Strike here. Okay, I need a gain now. Okay. Glamour? Okay. Glamour Gain is such a good build, such a good gain option on Nergal. It gives you a second status curse, which is very useful for origination, which is going to jack up our damage even more. We take a lot of damage, like we're up close and personal to a lot of enemies with Nergal, so having weak constantly being applied to things is very good. And it gives us just enough mana, especially at +4, that we will pretty much never run out of spins. There's some consideration to go to Chaos here, but I feel very strongly that the only thing I need to complete this build, other than Psychic Whirlwind, which I can't get for a while, is to go for a strong cast, and Zeus is arguably the best single target damage cast in the entire... Well, inarguably, it is the best single target damage cast in the entire game. Storm Ring, right? Try for it. Cool part about Unseen Ire here is that actually activates even on things where you don't take damage. Things that hold you in place or push you are also things that trigger Unseen Ire. So in this case, I'm able to basically just walk into those roots, get stuck, turn on Unseen Ire, and be invulnerable for what amounts to the rest of the fight.
Until we meet again.
Okay, good build. Good build. Good Storm Ring. Art into Artemis, interesting. Room skips like Artemis and Nemesis are very interesting with Nergal because you are sort of counterbalancing not wanting to take too much damage from the enemies because there's no time pressure. The clock is stopped. So there's no reason for me to rush into killing these enemies. However, I'm trying to counterbalance not taking too much damage with being able to heal damage up with the Berserk ability from Nergal, which is obviously not affected by Vow of Scars. So I would like to leave this room at 140 health if I could, but if I try too hard to get those hits in to get that healing, I'm much more likely to leave the room at like 90 because I take too much damage. So, something to think about. Fortunately for me, the game is very lucky and gave me fish. Fish are the perfect enemy for Berserk Nergal, because every time you hit them, even when you're stripping their wards, you still gain 1 health. So having those show up, and I believe those are the upgraded versions of the Whaler enemy, much easier to deal with for Nergal than the Whalers. Lots of health.
I have to say.
Pressure points is fine. A little bit of crit chance. Yeah, not too much to say there. Pressure points is ideal. Sorry, pressure points is not ideal, but it's whatever. We would like Shadow Pounce, I believe it's what it's called. After you dash, your Omegas deal more damage. Very, very good on Nergal, but didn't get it. Can't really complain with the boons I've had so far to start this run. Ow. There was a crit from Zeus. I think max mana is better than a palm here. Clean room. This is a really interesting decision. Demeter, I think. Gales are good. Weed Killer is good. Get the screen out so I can talk east. Oh. Yeah, it's going to be better than this stuff. Okay, so there are 2 options here. The top option, as you can see on screen right here, is getting 2 boons. One from Zeus, one from Hera. There's a couple different options that are really, really nice to hit. If Zeus hits double strike, that's very powerful. If Hera hits like Fine Line, that's pretty good, but also like Bridal Glow, I believe, is in the pool. But there are not that many options and things that I really, really want from either of these gods. From Zeus, I don't really want Static Shock because I am worried that I'll prime out too much mana and not be able to spin. I just need enough to be able to spin like 2 or 3 times, but I'm worried that that might happen. In the case of Hera, Fine Line is okay. It's not the greatest on Nergal. It obviously makes the spin generate this wave that deals a little more damage, which is nice, but it's not really like Nergal's Omega spin does enough damage. It would prefer a percentage-based modifier because it's so high base power to having the extra effect of Fine Line thrown in. So there is a narrow pool for both of these gods that I would appreciate. I don't go to them because with Demeter, there's actually quite a few different things that I would like to have. Weed Killer is a percentage based upgrade to my Omega attack. I would really like to get that at plus 3 palms. Also, Arctic Gale is very, very powerful as well. Steady Growth is also very interesting to rarefy some of these boons and make them stronger. Because Demeter has a higher number of options, and I don't have any rerolls because I'm playing at Fate's Whim, it actually makes more sense for me to go to Demeter here. Also, this puts Demeter into my pool for later. So this will be my 4th god. Bit of a slow room, but what can you do, late Erebus? This is a close one. Steady Growth is really, really nice. Every 4 encounters getting a rarity increase on Sworn Strike or Storm Ring is fine, but because everything's already plus 3 levels, the extra rarity isn't like as big of a jump in overall power. It's one of the reasons that the Excellence Arcana isn't very good with Jeweled Palm. I think I take Arctic Gale here. I'm sure I do, and Arctic Gale is, for my money, one of the most underrated boons in the entire game. I'm starting to think that Arctic Gale is better than Arctic Ring from Demeter. It not only does it apply a long-lasting curse for origination, it also very quickly shreds wards, which is great when paired with Storm Ring to really start dealing damage right away. With Arctic Gale and Glamour Gain, I can apply origination to enemies without actually having to hit them with my very slow attack, so Storm Ring can start to deal quite a bit of damage really, really quickly. On top of that, Arctic Gale also has an incredibly useful defensive boon. Especially in this upcoming Hecate fight, you'll notice that I actually do a pretty good job of dodging the projectiles, and that's because Arctic Gale slows them all down to a crawl, which is very, very nice. Arctic Gale also is going to come in really handy for the Sirens fight, and just most rooms that are really big problems for people on 62 Fear are lots of projectiles from a lot of different people, and Demeter's Gales, Arctic Gale and Frigid Rush, do such a good job of slowing that down and making it easier for the player to react. So I'm a very big fan of Arctic Gale for that reason. 4 encounters. Moon gains rarity. It's really good on pressure points. It's really good. I think we'll just take Arctic Gale. More health. A lot of health to work with. I've hit a lot of Centaur Hearts. Spiritual Affirmation still in the pool. Okay, so this is a very, very difficult fight for the aspect of Nergal without Psychic Whirlwind. Hecate has very, very fast windups, can teleport around, and is generally very good at avoiding and making life miserable for a slow attacking weapon like Nergal. So what we're going to do is take advantage of the fact that we have Furious Whirlwind, and also do a lot of casting and running. We're going to run in, get the cast onto Hecate, get Storm Ring starting to rack up the damage, and then we're going to like either run away or dash attack away, charge up our spin, and take advantage of Eternity to come in and spin. While Eternity is slowing enemies down, Storm Ring is ticking away still. So it's sort of like a quick attack speed boost for Storm Ring relative to everything else that's happening, which is very cool. We're going to take a lot of damage this fight.
Each time.
Into the fray, sister.
probably seen this a couple times now, but this just really speaks to how strong Arctic Gale is on a good cast. Storm Ring by itself would not deal enough damage, even at purple level 4, to like kill one of these witches without me having to also hit them. But because Arctic Gale is spinning and taking their ward charges as well as dealing incremental damage, it actually does deal enough to just do it by itself. And that's a huge boon for Nergal, who otherwise would have to like very slowly walk around and kill everything. Without Psychic Whirlwind, it's just impossible to do this quickly. Good stuff so far. You notice I keep pausing the game every time Hecate splits like that. It's to give me a second to recognize what pattern she's giving me with Triple Divide. I believe there's still a small visual indicator if you can see all three of them on screen, which one is the real Hecate based off the teleportation animation. But also, if I see, for example, I'm not going to go back exactly to when I paused it, but I can see when I paused it, this Hecate up here in the top right corner, never the real one. This position is never the real Hecate. This position is also never the real Hecate, so I know that this one over here is real. Obviously, she started running, and only the real Hecate can run, so there was a giveaway there, but just pausing it, I knew that that one was real. Just the position. You do this fight enough, you start to realize which positions can never be the real Heck, and it makes the fight a little bit easier to do. Take a little bit more damage than we wanted by the end, but for a no Psychic Whirlwind, this is a super clean Hecate fight. Very well done.
I passed the test.
Okay. Oh, I didn't hold an Artificer charge. I was meant to. What I'm talking about when I say I should have held an Artificer charge is that there is a trick you can do in the Fields of Misery where if you have not picked up your second Daedalus Hammer or Icarus Hammer, whatever they're called in this game. I think they're just called Daedalus Hammers. You can rarefy or Artificer a minor find while the major find hammer is still either showing on a door or available in the field, and get two kicks at the can. It's a really good strategy to do if your weapon is super dependent on a hammer. I think it's good for all three of the non-hidden aspects of the blades to do that. I think it's a good idea for Nergal to do that. Probably a pretty good idea for Charon to do that as well, because I think those are very hammer-reliant aspects. Sudden Cleaver is not good, but that's okay. You might be wondering if it's a good idea to take Experimental Hammer here. We've worked out, I think Red was the one who either put this together or was the one that popularized this for me. If you don't take any extra encounters, like if you take the least encounter route possible, particularly in fields, and also if you get like any sort of skips, I think at all in Oceanus, you can take Experimental Hammer after Erebus and it won't expire. So I was fishing for Psychic Whirlwind there. Didn't get it, but oh well.
Down I go.
Sudden Cleaver is not good, but it's okay because we can look for
The Rim of Oceanus.
a way to it's just an extra tick on our hammer. Yeah. But it's still okay. What's going on here? Really good timing. If you notice the farthest right Revenant there, I just picked that up before that enemy respawned. And as I'm playing more and more of these runs, I'm getting better at figuring out like what's the maximum leash time I can allow to still do things before I go to pick up the Revenants. That's one of the ways you can really speed up your game at 62 is just getting better at picking up Revenants. Okay. Spin's looking
You
pretty
were
good so
you
far.
were told experimental hammer is usable in Oceanus? Okay. Whoever, you're who I got it from, so credit to whoever told you, I guess.
Well,
Oh, weird thing that was.
Good defensive use of the spin here to
drown in it.
not just keep me alive, but also fend enemies off. Against the smaller enemies that tend to run at you a lot, like the fish, the yellow Eurobeat shades, the even like the spindles and stuff like that that'll move around and cause you a lot of grief. With Nergal, it's good to like put your cast down defensively to give yourself some distance, and then charge up the spin and get going. Unfortunately, Arctic Gale does mean that I do get like less spin healing off of the enemies, but it's a trade-off I'm more than willing to take.
That was weird. Breath of Eros is fine. Mist Veil.
For those of you who are wondering, Breath of Eros, I think, is still currently bugged to heal you, but either way, it blocks one instance of damage, which is really nice.
Is not really needed. Chaos?
There's some argument to be made to go to Chaos here. I actually don't want to take Chaos. Eros doesn't heal anymore, but it does block. Yeah, I figured. There's some argument to be made to go to Chaos, but the reason that I don't go to Chaos here is actually pretty deep. Wait, do I go to Chaos? Maybe I do, actually.
I would like more God Boons, I think. Well, Chaos can give me...
Yeah, no, I do go to
something else
Chaos.
that I
Okay,
want
never
to.
mind.
I would like...
So the thing that I'm thinking about here is that I actually want... I really, really want to get a hammer in fields as soon as possible. And the way that I can get a hammer to appear in the Fields of Misery is that every major find encounter, every time a major find is shown on a door other than a mini-boss door, it creates... it like pulls something from a bag of possible rewards, possible major find rewards that you can get. I want to trigger another refilling of the bag because every time the bag runs out of eligible things to give the player, it refills full of things to then have eligible boons to give the player. Daedalus hammers are not eligible to be offered to the player until fields, but every time the bag is refilled, the unoffered Daedalus hammers stay in the bag. So if you're wondering why you very often get offered first floor fields, a Daedalus hammer is because the bag is like full of them. And then obviously they're no longer eligible once you get your second one. So I would like the bag to refill again. I would like to see more major finds on doors before fields as much as possible.
like air quality here with the Demeter Gales.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, this one.
Just saying, if I could do one thing differently about this run, I would just take Flayed Revival or even Atrophic Talent here. I never get air quality. I don't think I get a single infusion. I almost lose this run to do something very stupid, and it doesn't work out. So, if I have rerolls and ways to like force Zeus to appear, doing this to get air quality on Demeter Gales is a smart thing to do. But I should just have taken Flayed Revival. I will never click specials pretty much for the rest of this run, and it's 20 health per floor. So definitely an own goal here. I don't need healing because I have Nergal to heal, but this is still a much, like, Flayed Revival is much better than Fixated Creation here. And Fixated Creation's priming means that I have to play the Sirens fight very, very delicately, and I have to actually, like, not just spin whenever I want, which creates problems, and you'll see that it does. Right? This is also good too, but I have healing. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I definitely picked the worst one of the three. I'm, like, obsessed with air quality. It's like definitely a problem I have as a player. Right, there's another case of Unseen Ire being activated by a pull effect. There's my Breath of Arrows. Good. So, one of the things I'm tracking, I think I have a pretty decent shot because I see a Centaur Heart again. I was offered quite a few Centaur Hearts through Artificer and Doors in Erebus. So seeing this Centaur Heart occurs to me that the bag has been refilled at least once and possibly twice because I see Centaur Hearts again. Good mini boss. Hellyfish can be a really difficult mini boss to deal with melee range weapons like the axe. The spin that Hellyfish does deals a lot of damage. Luckily for me, I have two really good options for this fight. One is the Storm Ring cast with the Arctic Gales that'll kill the mini jellyfish and start dealing damage to the big one right away. The second one is I can use the hitch effect on the other jellies that are around the area to deal damage. Basically, as soon as you strip the armor off of Hellyfish, it goes down right away. So I take 14 damage, but that's
heal off that, but whatever.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal. Be solid, but I'm about to come to a realization here. Oh. I guess I can't spin against Sirens. Because I took this stupid Chaos Curse, I have to be mindful of how many times I use my spin. I have a cap on how many spins I can use against Sirens. I did not think this through. I did not think this through. It's just one bad encounter, right?
Here we go.
It's just one bad encounter. That's a lot of spins. It's just one bad encounter.
Hear me on my authority.
Divine Vengeance is going to help out a lot. It's also... I would have preferred Double Strike here. Thunder Rush wouldn't have been too bad either. I could also have gotten offered air. I don't... Actually, wait. I think you need 3 air to be offered air quality. So, probably not. I should have taken max mana there. Just need to get through this one. I should have bought the max mana, yeah. Okay, so I am about to play like an insane person for the first part of the Sirens fight, and there's a method to my madness, and that is what I was talking about before. I have a limited number of spins in this fight, so I think it's easier because I have both Nitro Boost and 3 charges of Lovers. I basically have 4 charges of damage block, and I want to use those to basically try and kill like phase 1, like Roxy, Scylla, and kill this Tentacle like right away. And I think I can do it because I have a lot of damage with Hitch and also my casts. And Unseen Ire is going to take care of the incoming damage as well. So you can see, more or less ends up working out. I do need to chill now.
Admiring our cast.
I fat-fingered my cast there. Got it off that time.
Don't have much left.
I'm talking about my mana.
Oh my
I can't believe I caught that with my teeth, man. Like, what was I thinking?
god.
Turns on my Unseen Ire, too.
And it turned off my darkness.
Yeah, because I really wanted Unseen Ire to just kill Roxy here. Luckily, she goes down pretty fast.
That's pretty good.
I have a pretty decent amount of time left on the clock. Like, I've got a minute 30. So mostly what I'm trying to do here is just, like, spread the fight out, try to run away from Scylla as much as possible, because she can deal a lot of damage to me. I'm likely going to lose a Death Defiance here, but that's okay. I just want to, like, get each of these tentacles isolated and dealt with, so that I just want to avoid taking big group fights without my spin anymore. I'm trying to save the one charge of spin I have left to deal with Scylla during the fish phase. Now, for some reason, I think I have just... So, this is a big problem that I have with this fight, is that the animation that Scylla does when she's about to do her counterattack is the same animation that she does when she gets phased. So I think at that point that I've phased her and the fish phase is coming up, and then she just, boom, charges me, takes out my DD. Fark is right.
Sing about that. My boon from chaos came alive.
Okay.
Wow, good thing I got those things
Now
from
I've seen
Chaos.
these once. Do I ever take a god keepsake here? Do I take Zeus keepsake?
If I wanted her
No,
quality, I
okay.
should have taken Zeus Keepsake, but I don't think I do.
No way, I think. Just always engraved pin.
All right.
Mistveil doesn't do anything.
The pool of purging.
I could sell this.
There's a world in which it's correct to sell Divine Vengeance. It doesn't really add up to that much damage over the course of a fight, and the gold could get me towards a Death Defiance. You can see, because I finally moved my camera out of the way, that I only have 36 gold right now. So it would be advantageous for me to have more gold to work with, particularly because oftentimes there are wells that you can buy things from in fields. So
To afford to buy a spoon at the end. I think I make this much money. I'll keep it. Divine Vengeance isn't that bad. At Drummer Death, yeah, the drummer.
Roxy did die
not
very
last
fast.
long.
Yeah, Roxy died real fast.
Fortunately for her. Fortunately for us. Weird run. We have a lot of good stuff, but
More shades. Flourish.
So it should be said, I'm not one to complain too much, but I do believe that it's very unlucky that I didn't get offered a hammer first room here. No hammer, no god boon is a pretty rare way to begin fields,
You shouldn't have crossed me.
and it does put you behind the 8 ball quite a bit. I'm taking out some of these shades so they don't mess me up while I do other stuff, and I'll take the upgrade. A little more damage on Sworn Strike, why not?
Stay far away.
It's crazy I remembered that that Revenant was there. I did not remember that one.
I bid you shine for me again tonight.
What can this be? That's good.
It seems
Phase Shift, I guess. Works well with the cast. Phase Shift is pretty good.
together we shine. You have it. I should be able to get out, I think.
Money? I'm thinking about taking that cash for the gold. Yeah, Nergal cleans that sort of stuff up pretty well, especially with this cast. And I could use the money for like a Death Defiance or something like that.
No blood where you're going.
Something I'm starting to notice. You can tell I'm like thinking a lot at this point. It's when my eyes kind of go up like this. I'm thinking, I'm doing some like math and stuff like that in my head. That vampire or phantom or whatever it's called took too long to kill. I am starting to feel the effects of what I like to call the field's damage drop off, which is basically every enemy starts to get really, really bulky in fields, and you start to feel when your aspect's damage is still strong, or if it's like really fallen off. Like in the Mel Flames run, the one prior to this one, my damage was not falling off. I was dealing with things incredibly fast. This one, I can definitely feel that I need something like Psychic Whirlwind, obviously, or some sort of cast damage bonus, or some sort of other way to deal more damage. Blood where you're. You can see again, I wasn't offered a hammer. It's very unlucky. Going. So threatening. All right, Psychic Whirlwind, we kind of need you to show up here. I think there's an argument that survive, survive, survive is worse than evade, evade, evade in terms of overall effective health here. But because Nergal can heal, it makes survive, survive, survive a little bit better. The best number of Death Defiances to get back from survive, survive, survive is exactly 1, because it gets worse every time you use it. So good for me, I guess.
For me,
Full DDs, got some healing. Okay, this is insane. I just want to point this out. The game has to pull 6 major finds from the bag. It owes me a hammer. And over the course of fields, it's pulled 10 major finds from the bag. And somehow I didn't get offered a hammer. Where's my hammer? No, dude. Anyone who watches the stream knows that when I start laughing like this, I'm mad. I'm tilted. It's so statistically unlikely for me to not be offered a hammer here. It's like, I know there's like RNG in this game, but like this is egregiously crazy. How could this happen? I think the bag is like 4 hammers and nothing else at this point. Like, I think I've seen the most mana pots and the most health pots and the most obols and the most palms that you can see without getting a hammer. Oh. This is crazy. I'm being tortured. Missed it. That was a crazy little bit of decision making over in that corner there. You see, like, I'm thinking about going for the Revenant and then see the lightning bolt come from the Lamia and just decide to let that guy respawn over taking damage. It's a bit of an interesting, like, quick decision-making thing that I did there.
Show me the way.
So you can see I'm taking damage on Nergal here. A good indicator of if my build is strong is whether or not I can use one Omega attack to KO like an armored Mauler or Mourner or whatever those are called. I can't do it, so the build is definitely in trouble.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Slowly losing health. 5 minus is max fear? No, this is 62. 67 is max. Shoutouts to Boded and Foolish, by the way. Now there's two of them. Yes, I'm talking about past me. I'm watching doing an over-explain run. Hasty retreat, I think, here. I just need some evasion. Yeah, I didn't get anything from Hermes that really juiced my damage there. Mean Streak is, like, good, but it's not great.
Okay, I have the Howling Soul out again this time.
Wow, that's an insane bit of foreshadowing, by the way. Howling Soul had been messing with me this whole stream and, like, just been doing terrible. I'm doing awful. And I joke that it's going to come in clutch and save the run. Remember that for later. Oh, you can see it's so slow. Do I put it together that I should turn on my... No, I don't. I forget about Engraved Pin. That's a pretty big blunder there, actually. I could turn on Engraved Pin and finish that encounter. I would lose a little bit of time, but I would get like 40 health out of it, which is really good. For these sorts of things with phase shift, I'm basically just not taking any purples because I want phase shift to be up as much as possible.
Zeus, take you.
Finally, I get offered a hammer.
39's not much time. There's my hammer. Psychic Whirlwind, so we can be disappointed.
Psychic Whirlwind, so we can be disappointed, means I don't think even with Psychic Whirlwind I have enough damage to win the run.
Okay, we did hit Psychic Whirlwind. This is actually kind of crazy now.
At the gates of hell.
I changed my mind pretty fast. So, Cerberus is normally very, 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 very hard without Psychic Whirlwind. Basically, Psychic Whirlwind just makes you more actionable while you spin. You can do things while you spin, and that is just, like, keeps your damage up like crazy. Is going to deal a ton of damage to Cerberus. I have a cast, which means the first part of this fight's not so bad. I have to really be careful about not triggering my Engraved Pin until phase 2 if I want to get out of this fight with all my DDs intact. There goes 1, there goes 2. A neat trick you see me do there is that I start channeling phase shift while my spin and cast are out. Those things will continue to tick damage during the slowdown of casting phase shift, and obviously during phase shift itself. Just trying to avoid the hitboxes as much as I can here. I do not succeed.
Dude.
It's like Psychic Whirlwind, but it's not even that good. I just didn't have enough health there. There's a bug sometimes that can happen where phase shift makes your charge time for your whirlwind a little bit slower. I think it has to do with like activating Berserk during phase shift or something like that. I don't know exactly how it works, but I don't think it happens here. Oh, hold still. After losing the Death Defiance early on, that was a really clean second half of Cerberus. One of the best I think I've ever played. Jeez, man. Okay. I can get back that Death Defiance. I have a good enough build to win.
In we go.
I got some healing coming up. If I had taken that revival instead of going for the air quality play like a goofus, I probably would. It was a bit of a goofus thing to do, wasn't it, East? You'd be in really good shape right now. Yeah, you'd be in better shape, that's for sure. We do hit the Kiss of Sticks, though, which is really nice.
Thank the fates.
Really good hit. Okay.
Unseen.
I just have to not lose a DD in Tartarus here, and I think I should be okay to not do that. It's Psychic Whirlwind. It's a good assessment. Like, I have everything I need to win. I just need a little bit more damage. I'm just a little short on damage right now to have a good Chronos. And I'm, as a result, like, quite short on time. 6:09 is a really, really short amount of time to do Tartarus. Normally, I get in here anywhere between 7 to 8 minutes, so. Okay, good build. Good build.
Ever-shifting chambers. Realign.
So even legions of revenant forces from Titan then.
Not too much to say. We're going to keep using Psychic Whirlwind and putting cast down and using phase shift to buy us time to deal damage. Actually, not that much damage. Yeah. But my damage is a little bit low, so it's a little concerning. If all goes well, we'll start to slowly heal up. We don't take damage. And if we do take damage, it's not too bad because Unseen Ire will help us. Oh, there's a really strong consideration that I should go to this to try and get Weed Killer. And some like spiritual affirmation, like some form of help. But I'm under 5.5 minutes, and I think I've run out of time against Chronos if I do that. That can be a lot of damage, but I don't think I have time. That was interesting, though. I almost went to that. Yeah, this is actually looking pretty bad. I'm really bad at the room layouts. Like, I'm really bad at remembering what the room layouts in Tartarus are and whether or not there's 2 doors or 1, so I just cost myself like 3 or 4 seconds there.
Care for a little wager?
This is so huge in retrospect. Getting a time save of probably about 30 to 45 seconds here from Nemesis showing up in Tartarus is tremendous. Okay, good chance for me to heal here, but also good chance for me to take lots of damage. It's dangerous. I have to play well. But It's really nice time saving. Nice use of phase shift there, like, secures me some free healing. Luckily, I'm dashing during that hit, so Nitro Boost stops me from taking damage. Low damage. Yeah, I'm really feeling how long it takes me to kill, like, everything right now. Luckily, I do manage to, like, net gain a bunch of health in this encounter, so very, very good Nemesis here.
Okay. It's not the end. Not too bad.
See you soon.
I've never seen her take a door before.
One of these days.
So this is a really interesting Hades. Normally when you get to this position, you pretty much just snap pick Deep Descent. And if you don't have Unseen Ire, when it's offered to you, you kind of just take it. Life Tax, Old Grudge, and Gagaro's Dash are sort of thought to be the three worst to take from Hades at this point. Life Tax just doesn't do anything. Valve Scars reduces its effectiveness by 100%. Old Grudge is, like, not terrible. 20% of Kronos' Phase 1 max HP is, like, not that bad. It's, like, fine, but it's much worse than Deep Descent, or in this case, the boon that I end up taking, which is Howling Soul. Howling Soul is normally not considered very strong. However, it has one sort of niche application, and that is on the way that this build is set up. You may remember, all the way back when I was fighting Hecate, I said that because I have Glamour Gain, and because I have Arctic Gale, I do not need to hit enemies with my weapon for Origination to be active on them. And that means that as long as I'm in the ballpark area of Glamour Gain of an enemy, and they're in my cast, they're taking a lot of damage from Stormring. Now, Howling Soul has a property to it that it doesn't list in this description. It says, your cast launch a projectile that seeks foes. The binding circle forms where it hits. What they don't tell you is that the binding circle that forms from Howling Soul sticks with enemies that teleport. So against Kronos, this is very, very useful. Kronos teleports a fair bit during the fight, and if you just put your cast down in some position, it's not really effective. It doesn't really do much. But every time I hit Kronos with Howling Soul in the fight, he will take the full duration of Stormring's damage, which is a lot. So this is, and I don't really know it yet, it doesn't fully dawn on me until the fight itself, but this is the damage boost that I need to win the run. Is this Howling Soul? I think this is Howling Soul. This is the Howling Soul Redemption run. Old Grudge isn't it?
Take care of yourself.
I honestly think if Deep Descent were available in one of the other two run slots, I would have taken it and I would have lost the run because of it. Howling Soul was the #1 choice there, in retrospect. I don't know. Howling Soul meta, yeah. I mean, it does help me out a little bit damage-wise. Oh, no. Have to watch the clouds a little bit here. Good. Good. You can see it really is nerve-wracking to, like, throw out the cast. The clips you posted, yeah, you can also see them on Twitch. There's definitely some clips during this stream. There's clips of Howling Soul just making me look like an absolute monkey.
Can't handle the balls.
I got hit
Why
again.
are they still active?
Yeah, I'm so tilted.
Oh. this is bad.
Just
I do
taking
not
this
do enough
moment,
damage.
just taking this moment to like decompress mentally, I think is why it took so long to kill that guy.
There's no real way to fix it though.
You can see,
Choking a little bit too.
even with that time save, I'm running out of time. I only have 3 minutes and 25 seconds here. We get through the room without
3 minutes
too
is
much
not
problem.
a lot of
So.
time to kill Kronos here. Give me something nice.
Accept this message.
Sweet Surrender is going to be a nice little boost of damage here. I'd never press the special button, so even though Flutter Flourish says 300% on it, I do not take it. Heartbreaker wouldn't have been bad either, but I don't spend that much mana.
Weak afflicted foes take more damage. That is more damage. I don't think I create Heartthrobs that well.
What do we have?
Heartbreaker is at its best when you're creating Heartthrobs pretty much every time you Omega, or you're just like at around that speed. So if I don't think that I create 40 per Omega, I just don't bother with it.
In stock.
This is another one where I think I'm dead.
I do think I'm dead.
I need to go fast. But I do have Psychic Whirlwind.
Wow, it worked.
No deep descent though.
We have a visitor. You cannot.
So, early on in the Kronos fight, when there are tons of enemies like this, I have a pretty nice AoE clear with my Psychic Whirlwind spin. I am trying to spend as much of the fight as possible. It's funny, I paused this after I already missed. I just need to keep Howling Soul on Kronos for as much as possible. Nice use of phase shift there. We managed to land onto Kronos. Again, I don't know how that guy broke my Lover's Charge there, but he did. Really clutch thing there. I'm about to get charged at, but Howling Soul's cast damage actually pops the combo breaker from Kronos. So he does something different. I've already. It might not have been the combo breaker. It might have just phased him. Didn't need to take that 38. Oh well. Okay, so no deep descent, which means I actually do have to fight the mini boss here. I'm not going to fight the mini boss. Spoiler alert. I think in almost every mini boss case, except for maybe Hellyfish, it makes more sense to just rush Kronos down than it does to try and fight the mid boss. Oh, I'm almost dead. You still rush Kronos, Helly has no move speed. Yeah,
Howling
I think
Soul is
that's
doing well, but I'm out of time.
Yeah, 145 on the clock is not a lot of time for part 2 and part 3 here.
And I don't think I can kill him through
It's so like in retrospect very clutch that I can throw a cast at him here. And I can throw the cast through the barriers. And I don't have to deal with a lot of the time slow spell because I phase him in the middle of it. And part of that is because I was able to keep the damage on. Unseen Ire doing a lot of work here. Just have to do a couple quick dodges. And I got him.
Wow.
I believe that was damageless P2, or like close to damageless. And I have 56 seconds for P3. I think I can do it. Shoutouts to Howling Soul for, I mean, he's teleporting around, so it makes sense that I missed, but it's so funny that it just goes to the corner. It's so funny. Unfortunately, he does the triple boomerang throw. Not much I can do about that. Unfortunately, again, I missed. But Kronos helps me out by running back into it. Oh, shoutouts to there, by the way, the engraved pin phase shift combo. I can extend my 10 seconds of invulnerability by using phase shift while Moros is counting down. Not my best Howling Soul there. Got him. Oh, there's a lot of guys here. And Klonos is here. I kind of just try to use phase shift here so I can get these guys killed. Time's up. I did it. Holy shit, I did it. Howling Soul was incredible. 12 seconds over, but we got there. Really nice back end of P3 there. Death to Kronos.
That was insane.
I'm in shock. I can't believe I won that run.
Death
Hello,
to Kronos.
thanks for stopping by.
Yes. Oh, Nergal is so hard.
Yes.
I'm glad I got that. Day one.
Still happy that I don't have to play that weapon for a while.
For my father.
Don't like that aspect.
Psychic Whirlwind. Not much else to say, really.
Thanks,
Got
Tootie.
Psychic Whirlwind
We're going to be
very
doing
late
more
in the
62
run,
attempts.
But still managed to do it. This is going to be a really fun over-explain. I can tell. It's
Phase
gonna
Shift
be
is low-key
really
about
fun
to sell me on
commentary.
hexes again. Yeah. I don't know. On any weapon that, like, you take something in the Arcana that turns on... Oh. It's over. Don't look at my recommended, please. Let's get rid of that. And let's fire up the game.